I think we good. Knocking chairs over and all that. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Make sure I get right. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. What's much better? My bad, y'all. My bad. My bad. You already know how the holidays is. Let's get this thing started off right. Yeah. 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 Y'all already know what's good, y'all. What's good, y'all. What's good, y'all. What's great. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild, and this is episode 173. I can't believe it's 173 episodes. And man, we're gonna have a great time tonight. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to the chat already in the building. Appreciate y'all, them day ones. The badge holders already in the building. So again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Let me pull up my notes. Again, this is July 3rd. So for those who do celebrate the holidays, shout out to y'all. July 4th is tomorrow. The best thing about this is that college football 26 is about to drop in a couple days. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be honest with you. So shout out to that as well. Let's see what's going on. Also, real quick, I want to thank y'all for supporting my new EP, Winners Loyalty. It's on all music platforms right now. Make sure y'all tap in for those who haven't, or if it's your first time watching the show tonight. Again, it's called Winners Loyalty on all music platforms. If you're a true hip hop fans, make sure you tap in. It's fire songs, 6 songs. Make sure y'all go tap into it. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snap. So you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, don't forget to hit Button Snaps. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. So make sure y'all tap in and get right. Again, I want to shout out to some of those in the chat. Well, our chat is already in the building. Again, badge holders, and again, our chat people who are true members. And day one, shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to King in the building. Shout out to Treeman in the building. Shout out to Culture in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure y'all stay engaged. We love that engagement each and every episode. So make sure y'all stay engaged in the chat. Yeah, man. So y'all already know. Also, we on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We have a little over 11,000 subscribers, which is a lot. We've done a lot within the first year of the show. So again, continue to like, subscribe, share. share. Don't be afraid to share. Hit that all notification bell. You just never know when I'm gonna pop up. And we have memberships in the page. Different memberships gain different access. So make sure y'all tap in to the membership portion of the page as well. What else we got here? All right, y'all. Let's get it popping. Let's get it started. No further ado. Uh, First segment of the night: popular opinions, y'all. Again, y'all already know these are not our questions. These are the world questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. This first segment, though, is brought to you by OUV Records. Go on Instagram at OUV Records. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. Stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. You can see it in the back right here. You can see that in the back right there. So make sure y'all tap in as well to OUV Records as well. Shout out to ET in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate you tapping in. Uh, Hola, appreciate you tapping in. All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Make sure you stay engaged in the chat. We love over here. And hey, hit some shares. Hit some of those shares over here. We appreciate that. All right, y'all. First question of the night. All right, popular opinions. And remember, y'all, these are not our questions. These are the world's questions. Stick to the answers in the questions. Favorite style of hip hop. Favorite style of hip hop on this list. Favorite style of hip hop on this list. Number one, gangster rap. Number two, swag rap. Number one, gangster rap. Number two, trap rap. Number three, swag rap. Number four, drill rap. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, on this list, your favorite style of hip hop. Number one, gangster rap. Number two, trap rap. Number three, swag rap. Number four, drill rap. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to Justin for tapping in. Appreciate you staying engaged, man. We appreciate that. Big love, big love. All these different types of raps to me is very necessary in the game. But remember, this is for this list. My preference and this list is two different things. And probably some of y'all out there, your preference and what's on this list is probably two different things too, right? So on this list alone, me personally, I'm probably going to say drill. I like the drill sound. I really do. I'm not crazy about the message, but the sound in itself, um, just the franticness of it, how easy it is to kind of like rap on. Like for me, doing drill style raps for me is easy, but I like it when I hear other people doing it as well because it sound fire to me. I do like swag rap, I do like trap, and I do like gangster rap myself, me personally. Like we need to be able to gangster boogie. Three, swag rap, jazzy rap, and gangster rap. Jazzy has to be beats. Yeah. I love this may make me sound crazy, y'all. Even though it's not on this list, my style of rap, me personally, if you ever listen to my music, my style of rap is a combination of a little of everything that feel good, but it's mainly a foundation of like soul, jazz, boom bap, and like a little bit of that champagne feel. You know what I mean? It's like a mix of all. And then I do have drill songs as well because I like to dig in that bag because for me it's an easy bag to tap into. I'm from Brooklyn, so for me it's easy. But on this list, all these different styles is needed. Jeezy, yeah, Jeezy was fire. Jeezy the Snowman, Jeezy was fire. Jeezy was definitely fire. I remember, damn, I'm gonna sound real old. I remember when I was, I don't, I'm comfortable in my age, y'all. So when I was about 17, 18, my cousin took me to this concert, and mind you, I'm from Brooklyn, so I went to go see him in Richmond, Virginia. and the biggest group at the time hitting the streets was popping. It was called Boys in the Hood. And we went to the thing. And for those who don't know who Boys in the Hood was, Jody Breeze, Jeezy, and some of the other, I believe it was, is it Gorilla Black or Gorilla Zoe? I think it's Gorilla Zoe was his name. And there was another guy, but they was popping at the time. They was popping. So that's why I brought it up, because you had brought up Jeezy as well. A shout out to, again, Trio Lily in the building. Appreciate you tapping and cover the camera for Lamar Jackson edit. I don't know what that means, but appreciate you tapping in. Hit that like, hit the 100s. If you really like to listen to Queen J, I'll tap into that. Quinn J, I'll tap in. I'll tap in. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Ryan in the building, one of our badge holders. One of our badge holders. All right, I'm 41, Diddy free. If you like to listen to Queen J. Oh, y'all saw the Diddy oil? Y'all saw the Diddy oil? See the Diddy oil? Take that, take that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get that copywritten. You know what I'm saying? That's that Diddy oil. You take that, take that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He's a bro. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna definitely tap into his music. And when I say that, I mean that too. So, but so that's the type of style of rap I like to listen to. But on this list, again, for those who didn't hear the question, favorite style of hip hop, music on this list. Again, number one was gangster rap. Number two was trap. Number three was swag. Number four was drill. In the chat, I'm seeing a mixture of just a few. But the rest of the, and then myself, I went with drill. The rest of the world at 35% went with gangster rap, y'all. Gangster rap. Again, I'm not surprised. Gangster rap, I know is so, it's very, deaf culture type of music, but the energy that you get from gangster rap, I mean, it feels good. I'm not saying deaf culture feels good. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But the music in itself feels good. You know what I mean? Having that gangster style, like, I know this is kind of probably like sacrilegious, but I'm a big sound guy, right? Being from Brooklyn, I love, and I know this is kind of sacrilegious, but I love that gangster funk. That style of the Dog Pound style, with Snoop, Daz. Daz is one of the best producers in the world ever in the game to me. I would love to get a Daz Dillinger beat. I will smoke that beat. Oh my God. It will be biblical what I do to that beat. I will body that Daz Dillinger beat. I just love his style. You mentioned Both Thugs and Harmony. I just love that gangster G-Funk style as well. And I ain't gonna lie, if you ever listen to my albums, I always sneak in at least one G-Funk type of style, Cali type of style, because it got a vibe to it. And like I said, I'm a sound guy, and all my people from New York be like, yo, we be peeping, you be sliding in the Cali a little bit. I'm like, yo, chill, you know what I'm saying? It feel good. Tell me you didn't bounce to that though. You know what I'm saying? It sound good, feel good. You know what I'm saying? It's good for the heart, good for the soul. So yeah, I love that type of music and style as well. Shout out to Miss Bunny in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, bro. At this stage, just shave your head instead of having them little noodle ones on the top of your head. Shout out to you, Miss Bunny. If I seen you in person, you would definitely try to holler at me. Like, that's crazy. You wouldn't say that at all. But thank you for the joke. Good try. I appreciate the joke. We love good jokes over here. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? I spin them as well, too. I spin a great joke. But, let's be honest. All right? All right. She said, great response. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Favorite Tay Diggs movie on this list. Favorite Tay Diggs movie on this list. Number one, Slow Burn. Number two, Malibu Most Wanted. Number three, Brown Sugar. Number 4, The Wood. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, favorite Tay Diggs movie on this list. Number 1, Slow Burn. Number 2, Malibu Most Wanted. Number 3, Brown Sugar. Number 4, number 4, The Wood. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. All these movies is fire. All these movies are memorable. Tay Diggs did a great job in all these movies. Brown Sugar, I'm seeing Brown Sugar in the chat. Brown Sugar is a classic. It's a feel good. Tay Diggs probably had all the funny scenes in that movie and wasn't trying to be funny. Like, just in Brown Sugar alone, off the top of my head, when he first heard the hip hop Dalmatian, he was like what? Like it threw him off completely. And he wasn't even trying to be funny, and that scene is hilarious. The other scene when he catches his wife on the date, and he like Reese, like got like you know what I'm saying. So he's had killer scenes in Brown Sugar as far, and then he finally got with Sid, I think her character name was, and he nutted quick, and he was like, yeah, this never happened to me, or he couldn't get it up. He was like, yeah, this thing never happened to me. Da 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 da. I was like, so that's not funny, but funny. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, The Wood is a classic too. He has some classic scenes in The Wood. Slow Burn is a good movie, but it's not a comedy. I'm gonna go with Malibu Most Wanted for me. For me, I'm gonna go Malibu Most Wanted where he played. I think he played Mayhem. He either played Mayhem or Bloodshed. He played one of them, and it was actors from Juilliard. I thought that was hilarious, so I'm gonna say Malibu Most Wanted because it was funny that he came through with the little beady dreads, and it was looking crazy. So I'm going to say Malibu Most Wanted. Shout out to Kerry for tapping in. Appreciate you. Shout out to Aaronese for tapping in. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, y'all. Hit them likes. Hit the 100s. You're cool. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Again, I went with Malibu Most Wanted. In the chat, I'm seeing Brown Sugar. The rest of the world at 41% went with The Wood. Y'all went with The Wood. The rest of the world went with The Wood. That's not far-fetched. That's not far-fetched because Tay Diggs in that movie did kill it. He had mad funny scenes in that movie and everything. But his character shared time with the younger version of himself. So, I think most people voted for that because it's probably the most famous movie on this list. But ain't no shade. Tay Diggs did great in all these movies. So shout out to Tay Diggs for killing all these movies. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, y'all. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. We came up with the segment because Hollywood just be giving us movies and there's no interest, there's no creativity. We didn't even ask for this stuff. And the original IPs is where it's at, but for some reason, Hollywood feels like they just have to run it back. Every 15 years, they bring a new version of this old classic, and it don't be the same. So I got better ideas for either movie or movie series. So my Hollywood needs to ask us for this series. For this episode, I want to see a comedy based in plumbing. I want it to be about a family that's plumbers, and they run their business as a family. And in this particular movie, I will want the director to be Reggie Hanlon. For those who don't know Reggie Hanlon, he's directed movies like House Party, Boomerang, Ladies Man, The Great White Hype, all classic movies. So I would love for Reggie Hudlin to be a part of this. And also Reggie Hudlin, for those who don't know about Def Comedy Jam, he was like the talent. He selected a lot of the comedians to be on Def Jam. So I would love for him to direct this movie. Again, he did some of the most funniest movies in the culture. Again, House Party, Boomerang, The Ladies Man, and The Great White Hype. So I want him to direct this movie. In this movie, I would star Don Cheadle, D. Ray Davis, Avion Crockett, Jack Funny, for those who don't know Jack Funny on the internet, Bill Burr, Jason Weaver. I'm going to go Rolando Bryce, Ashley Chestnut, and Tashina Arnold. That cast right there is gonna kill him. That cast right there is gonna kill him. So for those who don't know, y'all know who Don Cheadle is. Like he don't need no introduction. Y'all know who D. Ray Davis is, big time comedian. Also Avion Crockett, big time comedian. He's probably best known for playing. If y'all ever seen Soul Men, where he was the boyfriend that was kind of beating on the daughter, and he was jacking the track. Jack Funny, if you type him up, he's heavy on the internet. He's real funny. Bill Burr is Bill Burr. Jason Weaver, everybody know who Jason Weaver is. He don't need no introduction. Rolando Bryce, he plays the father on The Shy to Emmett. He plays him, so he's extremely funny. Ashley Chestnut is another comedian on the internet. She's very funny, very beautiful. And then, come on, Tashina Arnold is the Tashina Arnold. Like, she don't need no type of introduction. That cast right there will body this movie again. I would want it to be a comedy based in a family business who are plumbers. And there's just too much humor in having to go into somebody's home, lay new pipe, find mice, find rats, and all that type of. It's just too much to cook up. And these particular comedians and actors have the great ability to improv. So I would love to see that movie. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. Again, this is 173rd episode. Giving y'all fire movies each and every episode. So my 3 movies that y'all must tap into. Stop playing, because I'm going to list some movies y'all ain't never heard of. So make sure y'all tap in. Y'all might have heard of some of these tonight. Normally, I give y'all some y'all ain't never heard of, but y'all may have heard of some of these tonight. First must-see movies is called The Voyeurs. It came out in 2021, directed by Neil Berger. It stars Ty Sheridan, Lily Rose Deep, Archie Rittenall, Quintessa Swindell, and Archie Madul. Fire movie. This is about the Earth trying to save the Earth by having a new generation of kids being born basically in outer space and not having no attachments to watching the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see The Voyeurs. A second must-see movie came out in 2008, directed by J.T. Petty. This movie stars David Buss, Clancy Brown, Galen Hutchison, and Harley Cortez. This movie is called The Borrowers. Dope concept. This is a Western movie, but the concept of this, you have a small town guy dealing with a small town woman, and they are supposed to be together, get married, but this woman, she's missing. And now people that watch the rest of the movie, because if I say something else, it's going to give away the rest of the movie. So make sure y'all tap in to see The Borrowers. Third and final must-see movie came out in 1999, directed by William Malone. This movie stars Gregory Rush, Ali Lauder, Fahmy Jansen, Taye Diggs, and Jeanette T. Kinsler. Fire movie. This movie is called House on Haunted Hill. Fire movie. This is about a strange man who got people to come to this particular home. He offered them a large sum of money to stay in the home, and they watch the rest of the movie. So I won't ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all tap in to see House on Haunted Hill. My 3 must-see movies again, y'all: The Voyeurs, The Borrowers, and House on Haunted Hill. Make sure y'all tap in to those movies. Can you cover the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit? Yeah, I don't know what that means, my brother, but appreciate you tapping in. I don't know what that means. I'm being honest. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a joke. I don't know what that means, but appreciate you. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Must hear music. Make sure y'all get a playlist put this playlist together and put these artists on your playlist. So my featured artist tonight, for my true hip hop fans, the artist that we featured tonight is called The Firm. It's called The Firm. Some of y'all may have heard The Firm. The Firm consists of legendary rap artists Nas, AZ, who am I forgetting? Foxy Brown, Fire. This is top tier nature. This is top tier rap right here. All right, so make sure y'all put The Firm on your list. Put these 3 songs on your list by The Firm. Number 1, Phone Tap. Number 2, Executive Decision. Number 3, Firmly Family. Make sure y'all tap into those 3 songs. Fire songs, especially if you real hip hop fans. And yes, Cormega, shout out to Black Light. How can I forget Cormega? Cormega was popping. Yo, that's such an underrated group. The only problem with The Firm is that they didn't give us more albums, yo. That whole album was fire. It was top tier. But they didn't give us more albums. Like, real talk, The Firm was supposed to be Nas' version of Rockefeller, or because Beanie Siegel was more state property, but he was Rockefeller. He was when it come to Rockefeller, Beanie Siegel was a part of Jay-Z's crew, right? So that's Rockefeller, but Beanie had state props. So The Firm to me was basically Jay-Z's, Rockefeller, Biggie Smalls, Junior Mafia, but this is top tier lyricism. You know what I'm saying? At a whole nother level with that New York energy. Again, you got Nas. A lot of people don't know who Nature is. Yo, Nature used to be popping to me. Cormega, Foxy Brown, and AZ. AZ so underrated. He don't get mentioned in most lyrical conversations that he deserve. So shout out to AZ as well. So make sure again y'all put those 3 songs on y'all playlist. Number 1, Phone Tap. Number 2, Executive Decision. Number 3, Firm Family. So make sure y'all tap in, put them on your playlist. I guarantee you, you're gonna thank me later. All right, y'all, moving on to our must read, y'all. Make sure y'all get cracking on these books. Open up your mind, open up your thought process, have a change of pace for those who don't read, and there's a lot of book readers in here as well. Must read book. It's called The Doctor's Book of Home Remedies. Quick fixes, clever techniques, and uncommon cures to get you feeling better fast. This book is by Prevention Magazine. Make sure y'all tap into these books or this particular magazine style book. Great read. Again, open up perspective for just medicine alone. I know medicine is very expensive. When you go to these, like, Walmart or whatever you get your medicine, it's very expensive. So there's other ways where you could get stronger home remedies and stronger results from these home remedies. So make sure y'all tap in. And y'all know what to look for when y'all go get medicine, when y'all go buy it. Y'all know what to look for because you already took it within the home remedy. So again, educate yourself. Just don't put stuff in your body. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know, y'all, it's our send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. All right, y'all already know how we do is either you type in T or you type in because we're going to send them to Turkey or not. How did we come up with send them to Turkey for some of our first time watchers? We had an episode where I covered a subject where a person was looking like he played on the rainbow side of the game in Turkey. And if you have rainbow tendencies or act like you a part of the rainbow community, they will lock you up. That's how they get down in Turkey. And it became an on show theme. Send them to Turkey when somebody was just out of pocket. So that's how we came up with the segment. All right, so tap it in or tease to send them to Turkey or nah. First one, J. Cole doesn't charge for features. If he liked the song, he would just jump on it. So are we sending him to Turkey or not? Because a lot of artists, especially high profile artists like himself, is going to charge for his verses because he's a special artist. So are we sending him to Turkey or not? Because some people may say, well, why you sending him to Turkey? Because he could be messing up the business of music by him doing free features other artists that is not on his level charge, and it's going to be like, well, if J. Cole don't charge, now why would it? But you got to understand, J. Cole is J. Cole. He's, you know what I'm saying? So, me personally, I'm going to say don't send him. No, nah, I'm not going to send him to Turkey. I love that. I love that. And I think most artists, most high profile artists actually operate like this. They're gonna tell the rest of the world like, yo, I charge 100 grand or I charge 500K, which is crazy. Um, I get it, but which is crazy. Um, because how many people actually have the money to charge 500K? And especially those people that are signed to major labels, if their deal is like 1.2, like let's keep it real, you basically taking half their deal on one song. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not going to send J. Cole to Turkey. I actually think that's dope. If he's feeling the song, loving the song, he's like, yo, I want to jump on this. Pause. I think that's fine. So I'm not sending him to Turkey at all. The chat is also saying don't send him to Turkey. I love that. 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 So shout out to the chat. All right, y'all. Next one. Send them to Turkey or not. WNBA will be expanding to 18 teams over the next 5 years. Send that to Turkey or nah. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Uh, I'm gonna say, damn, I'm kind of half and half with it, but I'm gonna say nah. I'm gonna say nah only because it gives more people an opportunity to do their thing. You have more women that get the opportunity to play basketball, to play a sport that they love. Expansion is key to growing any type of sport and business. But the only thing is that the WNBA right now is still a failing business. Like I've seen a report months ago where just last year they was 40 million in the hole. So expanding with that base, you're going to employ more people, but it's a failing business. So, I just thought that was like an interesting take because this NBA players, especially like a guy like Kyrie Irving, who's given about $2 to $3 million of his salary to make sure that the WNBA could stay afloat. So for them to expand is cool, it's exciting, but I also hear that they're having an issue with their current agreement, and the players want more money. And that's also going to be tough because if you want more money, then you need to put more butts in the seats. And if you're not putting more butts in the seats, then how are you going to get more money? So I think the WNBA is trying to operate the cost of business by expanding, and hopefully it's going to catch on at some point. But that's a failed business model, in my opinion. So, but I like the fact that it's going to give more people opportunities. You're going to get more people to play basketball. You're going to open up more coaching. You're going to open up more front office positions. So I could dig that, but it's going to be real interesting because I seen that. I believe the player was on the Liberty, and she turned down. I think Stewart. They call her Stewie Stewart. Stewart Bridget Stewart. I think her name is Bridget Stewart. I think she was offended by the current contract. So that's just interesting in itself. So I'm still gonna say don't send it to Turkey because it's gonna give more opportunities. They better learn to make a profit before they expand. Big T. It's worse this year with Caitlin's injury. The men are keeping it alive. Shout out to Black Light. That is a fact. I that's probably the biggest problem with the WNBA right now is that one, they're not listening to the people that watch the game. Two, they do a terrible job at marketing the game because in order for them to grow, they have to find a base that's going to support the game. I already know that base, but they got to come and hire me for me to give them that secret. And I'm pretty sure they got smart people in their organization. They should know, but they haven't been executing. So the main thing is, in order for any sport to grow, you need a base that's going to help grow your sport, and that base is going to buy tickets, come to the game. They're going to buy baseball cards. They're going to buy basketball cards. They're going to find ways to support the team. So they're doing a bad job in marketing the game, and they're not taking the people who actually watch the game, their views in account. Like, for those who don't know, men mainly support the WNBA more than anything. So if we're your biggest fan base at this particular point in time, then you're gonna need to listen to some of the suggestions. The NBA does it, and the NFL does it. College football does it. Every major sport does it. WNBA is not going to be any exception. So you have to listen to your core fan base to help make it grow. So jerseys, yeah. I mean, the WNBA could be a very profitable organization and business, but they just do a poor job at marketing. Shout out to my bro Biggs for tapping in. Already in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, bro. Bro, hit them 100s in the chat right now. Hit them 100s. Hit them 100s in the chat right now, brother. I appreciate you tapping in, man. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Send it to Turkey or nah. Paul NBA legend Paul Pierce says that he's the purest scorer ever in the NBA. Send that to Turkey or not. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Well, I'm gonna say this: Paul Pierce was a great NBA player. I remember him being on Boston, especially in his early career. He was really cooking, but Boston was terrible. But he always kept Boston in the games. Um, I would have really liked to see what a young Paul Pierce with a very healthy Antoine Walker would have looked like. I thought Antoine Walker was such a great player. Antoine came in '96. I think Paul Pierce came in like '99, 2000, if I'm not mistaken. I would have loved to see what a healthy core would have looked like from both of them. But for him to say that he's one of the purest, to say that he's the purest scorer in the NBA, I don't agree. But he was a great scorer. He was a three-dimensional scorer. He could get you in the post. He could get the mid range, and he could shoot the long balls. And then young Paul Pierce could dunk. He used to cross people up. But I wouldn't say he was the best purest scorer that we've seen in the NBA. I disagree, but he is a great player, and I'm not going to like OD because he was a great player. Is he in the conversation? Yeah, I don't think he cannot be in the conversation. I don't think you can really name 10 to 15 guys who was a purer scorer than Paul Pierce. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I probably could list, in my opinion. And again, I don't want to trash it because that's not what this is about. I'm gonna say, in my opinion, that there's five other guys that I feel when it comes to pure scoring, I think of them first. I think of Michael Jordan first. I think of Kobe Bryant first. I think of Allen Iverson first. I think of Tracy McGrady first. I think of Kyrie Irving more. I think of Steph Curry more. Even though Paul Pierce could play in the paint better than Curry, but Curry shoots better. Um, so I get where Paul Pierce was coming from as far as the different ways that he can score. So Durant, you got Kevin Durant. Uh, I mean, when Kawhi Leonard is in his bag. So I don't. This is not a bash to Paul Pierce. Much respect, very very well deserved. One of the best peer scorers we've ever had in the NBA. But I don't think he's the most purest scorer that we've had in the NBA. So I'll say that. Me personally, I will say that. But shout out to Paul Pierce. Again, great player, and no diss to him. All right, y'all. Send him to Turkey or nah. Send him to Turkey or nah. Uh, the Milwaukee Bucks have waived superstar point guard Damian Lillard. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, I'm gonna send Milwaukee Bucks to Turkey. I'm gonna send them to Turkey. I get it. He's hurt. But a player like that have earned the right to get healthy and to let him get himself right. Um, to waive a guy like that, again, is business. Um, because we're not talking about Damian Lillard's career. We're talking about right now. And right now, he's dealing with an injury. He's recuperating. He's trying to get right. But it's still Damian Lillard. Like, what are we talking about? That's the type of player you let him get healthy, you let him get right, and then you bring him back. So to waive him is basically saying, like, yo, we don't got no hope for the situation. So I'm going to send him to Turkey. Me personally, I'm going to send him to Turkey. Shout out to Christian in the building, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Would you rather rehab in LA than Milwaukee? Shout out to John Smith in the building. Marcus Houston, is that you? Good one. I've heard that all my life. You know Marcus Houston is my cousin, right? You know that, right? You know that, right? You know it's my cousin, right? Already dead. What Turkey? What Turkey? Is send them to Turkey or nah? Send them to the country Turkey. For those who are new, I explained the whole Turkey bit on why I send them to Turkey or not, where Turkey has the most strictest laws in the world. So that's why we say send them to Turkey or not. Marvin Gaye is my uncle. Shout out to Already Dead. Appreciate you. If that's true, then that's what's up. Fix they hairline in Turkey. Fix their hairline in Turkey. Fix they hairline in Turkey. Shout out to Christian. Well, I'm gonna answer your first question, Christian. Would I rather rehab in LA or Milwaukee? As a former athlete, I want to rehab where I can focus. That's why I want to rehab. That's why I want to rehab. Where I can be focused. Uh, he's trolling, brother. Uh, I'm going to wipe that smirk off your face. Shout out to 2004. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate you. Hit them like buttons. Hit them like buttons. Hit them like buttons. Hit them like buttons. All right, y'all. So yeah, me personally, I'm gonna send him to Turkey. I think Damian Lillard is a great player. I think he will benefit more from a team that really needs him and not necessarily trying to join a team in hopes that they will win a championship. And what that means is that every team plays to win, right? But the teams that went the furthest this past year, nobody expected OKC to win a championship coming into the season this year. Nobody expected the Indiana Pacers to make it all the way to the championship coming into this year. So in my opinion, he needs to go to a team somewhere like the Orlando Magic, somewhere like the Detroit Pistons, somewhere that has pieces where he could be a part of help building the team and hopefully making a run. Because Detroit is the next team up. Detroit is going to make that next step. And if they was to add a guy like Damian Lillard, would be seamless because you got a guy like Cunningham who is 6'6", who is a scorer and also a guy who could distribute the ball. Dame Lillard could shoot that thing from anywhere on the court. So I think that will be perfect. You also got Jaden Ivy, who's a young player. He's not the shooter like Damian Lillard is, but it gives them versatility on their team. So I think the Pistons would be a great fit, in my opinion. So, but I'm sending them to Turkey. I'm sending them to Turkey. All right, y'all. Moving on, y'all. Moving on. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all already know what time it is. Next segment is time to rap, y'all. This segment is brought to you by OUV. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, classics, shows, and documentary and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. Button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to legendary actor Michael Madsen. He's mostly known famous for Kill Bill and Reservoir Dogs. Great actor, so rest in peace. My condolences goes out to his family and his loved ones and his friends. And, great watching him work. I watched another movie that it's not heavily covered, but it was a great movie where he was basically chasing his ex-girlfriend from state to state, and he was running game on this guy. I can't think of the movie off the top of my head, but it was a fire movie. But shout out to and rest in peace to Michael Madsen. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. The Diddy verdict is in. The Diddy verdict is in. And again, y'all see the Diddy oil, right? The take that. The Diddy oil, right? All right, y'all. The verdict is in. So P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Mr. Love, pause, was found not guilty on count 1, racketeering and conspiracy. Not guilty on count 2, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. He was found guilty on count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution. Not guilty on count 4, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, but was found guilty on count 5, I can't even get the word together. Transportation to engage in prostitution. So he was found guilty on count 3, count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution. This was a big win for Diddy because he avoided life in jail. He also ended up, he's probably going to get a way better sentencing than R. Kelly. So he won't be in jail for the rest of his life, which is great news for his family and people that really love him, support him, and want to see him do well. I can't describe how disgraceful it was, even though I'm making joke of it, y'all. I did make joke of the baby oil, but I'm making joke on it with y'all, right? On the pod, right? Right after the trial, after the verdict was in, you had people in the streets of New York, shirt off, Diddy oil on in the middle of the street, dancing. Like, yo, what are we doing? Like that sound perfectly like something that we'll see in the Boondocks, right? So I just thought that was just like, yo, what are we doing? And it's now that he's going to be free at some point, because we don't know what his sentencing is. They wouldn't allow him to leave either. Sometimes they would allow you to leave, make bail, at least until your sentencing. He also have time served as well. So that should have bought him some sort of time. But what is it going to solve? He avoids life in jail. Great. He'll be out to raise his family, his children. Um, so what good is it going to do? Is it good that we have this millionaire, mogul, billionaire who was able to do the things that he did and beat the system? I'm not necessarily for or against P. Diddy. I'm not his adversary. I don't know him personally. I love the bad boy music and the sound growing up. Um, but let's be honest, like he has a lot of bodies in the wake. But even then, it's still all of that is not his fault neither because you're doing business with adults and everybody makes their decisions. Everybody, I'm gonna do this deal. Are you with it or not? Yeah, I'm with it. So you can't complain about the deal later on. So that's not something that I'm necessarily talking about. But there's a level of accountability that must be owed for him when he move forward. How is he going to pay this forward? What great is he going to do in the community to basically, when people hear his name, they don't think of this negative type of thing that was going on. Watching the trial, the only thing that we found out for sure is that Diddy was a freaky boy. That's all we found out for real. It was nothing new or anything that changed my mind to let me know the type of person, I won't say the type of person that he is because I don't know him personally, but what seemed to be perceived based on the persona and the music, and is based on the things that was said in the court. So I'm going based on that in itself. I'm not going based on other YouTube guys or his former group members or whatever the case may be. I'm going off what base was said in court. So at the end of the day, got a family to take care of, and being that he makes his money through the public, he makes his money through music, he makes his money through product placement, merchandise. So that means people buy his products in order for him to live the life that he lives. Nothing wrong with that. But how is it going to be paid forward into the community that supports you? So that's my next question with P. Diddy. Uh, but he doesn't have to spend life in jail, which is a victory for him and his family. So shout out to that. And for those who were real victims in that situation, I hope at some point they could get situated and and be able to get the help and the counseling that they need to move forward. So all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. A 55-year-old man, Charles Lito. Charles Lito is a lifeguard, has been charged with murder after fatally shooting a 15-year-old and injuring a 14-year-old in Chicago. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, they just passed new laws in Chicago where a lot of crime is basically, I don't want to say allowed, but you could literally shoot somebody, sell drugs, get arrested that same day, and be released the next day. These things is so heinous that they just letting people go. And at the end of the day, it doesn't benefit anybody like with this whole situation. Like, what are we doing as a community that's letting this fly like this? Like, what are we doing? I mean, with this particular situation moving forward, how do you find real safety in where you go? Because I know a place like Chicago is a beautiful place. I'm not the type of person that just believes, the worst in a place all the time. I'm just not that type of person to do that. I just don't believe in the worst. I don't believe in the media to be like, yeah, this is what's going on, and I'm gonna be afraid to congregate and to visit with people that look like me and have the viewers in here. So I'm just not afraid of places just because it carries a bad reputation because it's coming from the media, and it doesn't help with their reputation. So I hope this guy, 55 years old, who again fatally shot this 15-year-old kid and a 14-year-old, I hope he receives a large penalty. I hope he goes to jail for a long time, especially. And and I'm not certain of this. They haven't made mention if the kid died or not. But if they died, they should never see the light of day. Cause it's nothing like I'm not there, so I don't know what happened in the sense of what, the interaction. But as a 55-year-old man, there's no interaction that you're having with a teenager that would make you take their life, especially if they don't have any weapons. Especially if they don't have any weapons. You have the gun. That means you control the outcome of the situation. So, how do you, as a 55-year-old man, that your mind is fully developed, you could look at a situation, read a situation, understands that with you, this situation can be resolved, or you could just walk away. And in a part of your option package, it was to murder this, not murder, it was to shoot these teenagers. It's like watching Terminator. With Terminator in his head, it's like, yo, what should I do? His processing is basically the same thing. And because these kids was melanated, he felt cool in doing that. That was a part of the decision because of that inherent fear that he had for melanated kids. So I really hope this man gets the full extent of the law. Again, his name is Charles Lido. I'm putting his name on blast because it should be a public outcry on this particular case. Nobody's talking about it, and it should be much bigger than what it is. So I'm shedding more light on this. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Rapper Peter Gunz sets the record straight in response of his ex-wife, Amina Butterfly. The fact that Amina Butterfly made homeless claims online. I seen a video where she was back in Germany. She had her kids with her. It looked like they was sleeping in some sort of shack. And she was like, yeah, I'm starting over again. We're homeless. But he had set the record straight talking to comedian Godfrey, saying that, he signed off on her taking his kids to Germany with the base and understanding that she was going there to see her family because she's from Germany, and that her family was actually going to, just help her get situated, but it wasn't a situation where she was going there to live. She was basically going there to visit. Not to mention that he actually has a place and own a place in Dallas where she could have went to in Dallas and stayed rent free because she couldn't pay the original rent where she was at previously. So this really knocked off the sympathy move that I guess Amina Butterfly was trying to play, which is like very puzzling to me because when you have resources, and I don't want to make it a man-woman thing, but when like men, when we have resources, we exhaust it. We don't try to make more of a deficit for ourselves. Meaning, if we have a place that we can stay for free, we're gonna do that. So that way we can do what? Save our money, rack it up. So that way we could avoid more bills. In this particular situation with her, I'm going to more so individualize it. It's interesting that she wouldn't stay at this particular place where she would have full access to, according to Peter Gunz. He's in New York at his place, and doing what he's doing, but he's making sure that he keeps a roof over his kid's head. So she opts not to do that and goes back to Germany to be homeless. But how can you be homeless if you're there with your family and you want to go back to Germany to really get a sense of community? So again, the whole homeless sympathy type of angle, it just looked terrible after he done set the record straight, because it looks crazy. How can you be homeless and he's not? So it sounds like he has access to 3 different homes. His home, his other, ex-wife or girlfriend home, and a home in Dallas. that she just chose not to use. So I just thought that was very interesting regarding that, because it's like, what are we doing? How can we take advantage on getting to the next level if we're not using the resources that we worked hard to get? So a shout out to Patrick Torres in the building. Peter Guns is from around my way, 174th Street and Ho Ave in the Bronx. Shout out, man. Hey, man, I used to, I used to come up to the BX a little something. You know what I'm saying? The women in the BX, man, y'all, oh, those women out there get it popping. I will say that. Y'all got some fine women in the BX. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't shy on getting it popping. You know what I'm saying? I used to be up a Soundview, 149th and 3rd. 125th. I was up on Fordham, all through Fordham. Yeah, 125. I'll be in 125. No, 125 is more so Manhattan. Bronx, 149th and 3rd, Soundview, um, Tremont, East Tremont. I will be out there. Wakefield. I'll be out in Wakefield. I used to. You know what I'm saying? I used to have a whole lot of love to give. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of love to give. You know what I'm saying? Pause. That's neither here or there. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Shout out to Joan in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Uh, Cotero Park. Rowan Jack in the building, my guy. One of our badge holders, one of our day ones. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. Yeah, so I used to be out there heavy, man. I remember I had this one girl, right? And I said it before, right? There's one girl, and I'm not bragging on this, I'm just saying, right? There's one girl from the Bronx, super fine, right? But she was mad struggly, like, and we was in college at the time too. And I was like, yo, I really want to see you, I really want to see you. And she was like, yo, I want to come see you, but I don't got no money to come see you. I'm like, but you only a 2 train away. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I would take the train, but I don't got no money to come see you. Boo, you don't got $2.50 to get on the train to come see me? Like, so I ain't gonna hold you. I wanted it, you know what I'm saying? Cause she was bad. I took the train to go all the way to Wakefield, pick up to get back on the train to come all the way to Brooklyn to handle business. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those are the days, right? But again, Amina Butterfly, it just looks terrible to try to play on that sympathy card, because she's a great artist. She has the personality and the demeanor to be beloved, and people take interest to her. So to kind of play on the sympathy card is kind of trash. And the fact that you're in Germany around family, people that's going to help you rebuild and get yourself situated with you and your children, and knowing that, again, it's like you have options, you have resources. People who are really homeless are really homeless. They don't have resources. They don't have people that they can call and go, stay with them. They don't have people that's going to help them get their money and their finances and everything together, so that way they could take care of their family and their kids. And based on what Peter Guns pretty much said, is that she went out there to get a break. So imagine, as a father, you'd be like, you know what? I don't want my house no more. I don't want my apartment no more. I'm gonna get up out of here, pack all this stuff up. We're gonna put everything in storage, and I'm gonna go stay with my family for like until I feel like leaving. So to me, that's just like a crazy mindset, and it's just a bad example that you're laying out for the kids. To be honest with you, and again, it's no diss, but I gotta be honest. Uh, Shout out to Patrick. I think Queens has the best girls. Now, I did not say the Bronx had the best. I said they got some fine women. Now, Queens, on the other hand, Queens got the most women. It's a plethora of women in Queens. It's an abundance. It's many. It's enough. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So Queens woman is a little different though. Like Queens woman is fine, but you don't realize how many women in Queens because they don't be outside. But if you kick in them doors, ain't nothing but women in these houses, in some of these apartments, depending on the areas you go to. Queens got a lot of women, dog. A lot of women. Who got the best? I gotta go with my BK Brooklyn ladies. You know what I'm saying? They got that style, that swag, that aggressiveness. That's just to me. That's just my preference. You know what I'm saying? But Queens, you know what I'm saying? There's always work at Queens. You know what I'm saying? Queens is a good time. You know what I'm saying? I was about to tell you another story. Nah, I'm gonna sound like I'm bragging. So yeah, but shout out to Queens. Queens is popping. You know what I'm saying? Queens is popping. Shout out to Queens. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. In a recent game, Angel Reese, a WNBA player, Angel Reese has scored 24 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists. I brought this up in all fairness because last time I spoke about Angel Reese, I was very honest about her game. It wasn't a diss. It wasn't a chop job. It wasn't none of that. I definitively said about Angel Reese was this. She's a good defender and a good rebounder. In order for her to really elevate herself in the WNBA where she becomes like possibly the face of the WNBA as if she got better offensively. When she makes and shoots layups and misses layups, it looks elementary. It looks terrible. She plays with great pace, by the way, too. She's athletic, she can move, she got speed, but she doesn't offensively look like she's been playing basketball all her life. That's not a diss. She needs to work on layups, left hand layups, right hand layups. She needs to work on the midi. She needs to work on post play. She needs to work on her pick and roll, stop and pop, or as the receiver. So her having this game is great. Is great. I'm giving light to the fact that she had this game. If she played like this more often as far as the stat line, you're not going to see people take her offensive game as a joke. Because it looks bad. It looks bad when she looks bad. But this game, she did look better. So she's making strides. But in order for her to get the real accolades and the credit that she's looking for, she's going to have to continue to play like this, or she's going to have to continue to develop and make it look good while she's doing it. And what I mean by that is not looking elementary. Like there's times I've seen her make a layup and it don't look like a layup. It just looked like she's just throwing it up and it goes in. So I really want to see her look better scoring, look, like really working on her game. So, shout out to her. Shout out to Angel Reese. That's an outstanding game. Again, 24 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists is outstanding. Let me check out the chat real quick. Nah, Patrick, you need to get Florida 80. Oh boy, gets the wheel bag. She's a beast rebounding, but she needs to become a better scorer. Yep, same thing. I agree. Even in college, she wasn't a dominant scorer. I agree with that. She's doing good. As you have to give her credit. I'm giving her credit. I'm giving her credit. I'm giving her credit. Did we already do send them to? We did do send them to Turkey, Rowan Jack. We did do send them to Turkey. Oh, we did do send them to Turkey. Damn, you missing the Turkey? Yeah, yeah. But I am giving her credit. I am. When I said this, people was like, "Yo, you bugging, bro? Stop simping. She trash." Then I had other people be like, "Yo, you not treating the sisters right. This is not sisters. This is not a colorism thing. This is basketball, yo." And I'm judging based on what I see and based on what I've seen previously before. Again, great defender. Really great defender. Rebounding beast, like they said in the chat. I said that she could rebound, and she also plays with great pace and speed. But offensively, it looks terrible. No handles, no post bag, no real layup bag, no real dependable jump shot. If she continues to improve and it doesn't look elementary, then people was not going to regard her any type of way. I'm going based on what I see. So it's no diss. Anybody take that as a diss, y'all bugging. What? Ladies, I want y'all to understand this because there's quite a few in y'all in the chat, right? That's a part of professional sports. The men make the money that they make because of the interest that they make, but the men don't get it any easier, ladies. So if you want the love, you got to take the criticism. LeBron James is one of the best players the NBA has ever seen. LeBron James has been compared to Michael Jordan ever since he stepped in the NBA. Me personally, MJ is the GOAT. LeBron James still spanked a lot of ass on the way. You know what I'm saying? Throughout his career. LeBron James had one hell of a career. LeBron James is LeBron James. When he walks into the room, most basketball lovers be like, yo, that's LeBron James. Guess what? He get critiqued all the time. He got critiqued. LeBron James, even though regardless if I feel like he's the GOAT or not, LeBron James is easily the most criticized NBA player we've ever had. Whether it was what's the word I'm looking for? Whether it was self-inflicted or not, he's the most criticized NBA player we've ever had. If LeBron James didn't accomplish half the stuff he accomplished, it would be worse. It would be worse. He got 4 championships. He been to the finals, what, 9, 10 times? Imagine he would have only won 1. It would have been worse. Imagine he's not the scoring champion or scoring leader ever in the NBA. It would have been worse. LeBron James still can't do certain things in many people's eyes, and in most basketball discussions, most people have LeBron James either 1 to 5, depending on who you're talking to. 1 to 5. So the point that I'm making is, no matter if you're LeBron James, Kevin Durant, any player that went through the NBA, they got heavily criticized. Heavily criticized. So if y'all want to make that next level money, then y'all got to be able to take criticism and get better. When LeBron James first came into the league, they was like, he's nothing but a big guard. He could push the ball, he could pass, he could score a little bit, but he's not necessarily an outside shooter. He improved on outside shooting. You can't leave LeBron James open for a three-pointer. Can't do that. He's going to make it every time. He knows how to use his body in the paint. Like, he's got better at everything that he's done. So, again, everybody's going to get the criticism. Everybody. So, if Angel Reese continues to play like this, she's going to continue to be taken more serious, because her tape before this game, offensively, it did not look good. So, I have to say that. I have to say that. And I agree, MJ is the GOAT. MJ is the GOAT. MJ's the GOAT. For me, that's not even a conversation anymore. I think that conversation has been a wrap, years ago, in my opinion. I don't like LeBron. Again, as a player, great player, whether he's top 10, I think, I think that's preference based. But he's the leader on a lot of boards, but he did play a lot of years, but it's also well deserved. He's been a great player. So I feel the urge to call you the word, but I'm stronger than that. My shout out to Z for being weird. Appreciate you tapping in. If you want to see someone profiles, watch soccer. Bro got the drip. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate Honda in the building. I appreciate love, man. Pause. Appreciate that love. I think LeBron messes with. Come on, Rowan. I'm not even gonna say the rest. I'm not even gonna say the rest for the rewatch. I'm not even gonna say the rest for the rewatch. Um, Good night. Oh, pause in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. I'm late, but I'm glad I caught something. Pause in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes. Hit them likes, y'all. Hit them likes in the. I need them likes. I need to see likes or 100s in the chat. I need to see that. I'm sorry, them 100s or them hearts. Hit them 100s or them hearts in the chat. I need to see that. I need to see that. I need that love. But yeah, this is a very popular opinion, what I'm about to say, but I remember the lead. Michael Jordan, the years that he played, I would say since 1987, 88, Michael Jordan has hands down been the best player in the NBA. Outside of his last 2 years at Washington, anytime he wore a Chicago Bulls jersey, minus the first 3 years of his career, I'll say from 84 to 87, he was the best player in the NBA. That's a long time. In my opinion, Kobe was the best player in the NBA, I would say from 2004. I'll say 2004 to maybe like 2012. That's a long time. And in my opinion, I believe LeBron James was the best player from that time all the way up until, I would say 2000, I would say 2021. In my opinion, I would say that LeBron James was definitely the best player in the league when the Cavs beat Golden State. And I think he was probably the best player in the league when they won the COVID year. So I would say up until 2020. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. So that's also a long time too. So shout out again. Great basketball is great basketball. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Remy Ma and a daughter, the daughter of the father that was unalived by Remy Ma's son, got into a verbal altercation, and Remy Ma just kind of seemed like she just had no remorse of the situation on why they're there. For those who don't know, Remy Ma's oldest son is either on trial for murder of this man, and the daughter, Remy Ma, has some sort of it wasn't necessarily an altercation because nobody put hands on each other, but there was some sort of verbal back and forth. And you would think if your child, son, daughter murdered anyone, you would think there would be some sort of line of remorse, especially in the manner that it was done. It wasn't a fight to the death. It wasn't something that was in self-defense. It was plot and murdered for hire. So you would think there would be some sort of remorse, some sort of I'm missing the word right now, but some sort of just knowing how to act. And if you've seen the video, Remy Ma's just display was just terrible, so off-putting. And this was really doing a damage to her legacy on how she's going to be remembered just as a human being. As an artist, she was a great artist, but again, I don't want to say something that's going to denigrate her as an artist because that's not what it's about, but it matters. If you're a great artist, if you're great at anything, If your personality is very off-putting, then guess what? You're not going to be remembered in the greatest of light. You're not going to be in the conversations on, this particular artist and that particular greatest and this, that, and the third, when your personality is trash. And all we've seen of Remy Ma is just a negative Nancy for a while now. And in that particular situation, it makes you look at her different. At least I do, because again, your son murdered somebody. Your son plotted and unalive this man. So you would think there will be some sort of level of just like, yo, I sympathize with your family. I'm sorry that y'all going through this. You can do that and still stand beside your son. Where's the remorse? I just don't get it. So at the end of the day, looking at this, I look at her in a completely different light. I'm just completely turned off about this whole situation, seeing it, and then it makes you wonder, if she's rich and she's Remy Ma, why would your son need to make money for doing murders? Even if you don't give him money, you would think you will align him with an opportunity to make his own money based on the name that you built, right? So I just thought that was kind of like weird in itself as well. I agree with you. And in the 80s, Magic and Bird was the best. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. Shout out to Patrick. Empathy. Should I drop out of high school to be a rapper? Shout out to O in the building. Rowan Jack. The white in your beard looks good. You're going to be cool, Grandpa. Chill. Don't put Grandpa on me yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm still out here, you know what I'm saying? Still doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? That's what I'm saying? But I appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that. But yeah, so again, it's really off-putting. And why do it have to be like hip hop in a sense where like we don't have remorse in hip hop? We don't have the empathy and just looking at a situation for what it is. But instead, you're gonna show up and act ignorant, say ignorant things. You're not standing on no type of business. I don't understand that. And these people, you would think that these people, like, and this is why we said before that after a certain age, people don't get any older. You would think this person is 14, 15, 16 years old based on behavior. But you forget this person is like 45, 46. Still acting as if you're a child. This is childlike behavior. Crashing out. Anytime you crash out on something that's based on feeling and not rooted in any type of substance, it's childlike behavior. And somebody will say, well, what's the difference? Crashing out is protecting yourself against forces of evil, meaning if somebody breaks into your home and you unalive them, I can understand the crash out. That's a crash out. That's a crash out. In my opinion, that's a crash out. If somebody takes advantage of your child and you go to war over your child, that's a crash out. But it's respectable. It's understandable. This ain't it. This ain't it. This is trash. This is completely trash. I'm going to just say it for what it is. This is completely trash. A shout out to Putin in the building. Russia. Okay. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them hearts. Hit them 100s. Hit them hearts. Hit them 100s. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Also, y'all, there's new merchandise in the chat. I'm sending the turkey t-shirts. Make sure you tap in. If you use the code BrothersPod, you can get yourself 10% off all merchandise in the chat. That's at fourthwall.com, fourthwall.com. And again, there's links in the bio. You tap into it in the bio, and you get 10% off by using Brothers Pod, and you get 10% off on all merchandise. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. The NCAA has added a new transfer portal that starts in a couple days and is only designated and is called Designated School Athlete (DSS). So it's designated for athletes who don't make the 105-man roster. And so now they have the opportunity to transfer to somewhere else where they will actually play and get time. Also, for and this is for everybody, meaning if you're a high school athlete and you was promised a scholarship come spring semester or the time that you get on campus, if you don't make that 105 roster, they can revoke it and put you on a DSS, which is designated school athlete, where basically they will allow you to transfer to another school and play at the other school. So you're basically not guaranteed a roster spot. I think this is great for the guys who won't make that particular team, and most of the guys who's going to end up on this list is basically because either they not a part of the clique of the coach's favorite, or two, they just not talented enough. I think today's college football is more based in talent, mainly because you can't hoard talent. Like when I was playing college football, those years you could hoard talent. And what that means is you could have, you know, five guys at one position who could start at any other school, but they choose to be here. You can no longer do that, because guys who really have talent, they not sitting behind the next guy to have talent. They like, yo, deuces, I'm going to this school and I'm gonna go play. So a lot of teams can't hoard talent anymore. So this one, if you're a DSA athlete, that would allow you to go to another school, make another school program. And then in another way, I don't like this because this gives all the power back to the school. And I'm all for giving the power to the students. I don't know, maybe it's my own you know uh, my own experiences with college football, meaning where, again, when I played, schools wouldn't allow you to transfer like that. Coaches would say to you like, yo, you're up next. You should not transfer. You're like, yeah, nah, I want to go play this year. And when I played, you couldn't go play the same year. So if you transferred your sophomore year, you had to sit out your whole junior year and then play your senior year, right? And the biggest reason was because the previous school that you was at, they wouldn't allow all your credits to get transferred, which is grimy as hell. So that was like ingrained. So I'm all for the players now for like, yo, I don't like it here. When the next portal open up, I'm out. Deuces. So I'm all for that, because even when coaches have great seasons with their team, they get to leave that year. If a coach is making 500,000 and then have a great season at that school, another school could offer him $10 million and he could just up and dip. What happened to the players that you recruited? So I'm all for this. I like the fact that they have the ability to transfer and play somewhere else that they're going to play. And it depends on the school. So what this means is, if you go to Alabama, Michigan, Florida, the top tier schools, you could transfer from those schools and go to a second tier school, still D1, but it's a second tier school. If you had a second tier school, and so on and so forth. So you get what I'm saying. So I like that aspect of it, but I hate it in a sense because it gives all the powers to the school, because you're basically saying, we're going to bring in 130 guys, and the best 130 guys we're going to keep, but you promise all 130 guys some scholarships. And then, not to mention, I didn't even talk about the other 10 that makes it 140 walk-on players that you brought on. So it just gives all the power to the players, and going from school to school, it gets expensive. So Again, I like the aspect that the kids have the ability to play somewhere else, but again, it still gives the power to the school. Shout out to Chevrolet in the building. Like you're here, but do you think you would look really good with like pop or afro style better? Nah, I'm good. Appreciate that though. Hit them 100s, hit them likes. Appreciate that though. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A Burger King employee throws a drink in a toddler's face, and the mother goes off, jump in the back, beat the employee up, and leaves. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I seen this video. I was disgusted. There was a argument between the mom and the Burger King employee. The Burger King employee through the little hole, took the thing out and threw it into the kid's face. It was a toddler at that. So I'm all for moms getting back there and going to town, getting busy. Like, that's so disrespectful. Like, I don't care what type of altercation or disagreement that two adults is having. You don't put the kids in that. Never, no way. Never, no way, man. Never, no way. At what point do people act like adults and you wonder why the younger generation or the younger era act the way that they act? They don't get this out of the blue. They see us do it as a whole. I'm not talking about me personally, but I'm talking about us as a whole, as the older generation in the era. They get it from somewhere. They just don't, they just don't get it. Like the whole thing with the YNs, and I hate that term, by the way. The YNs. They wasn't born like that. They got it from who? They got it from the older generation or the older era, which is us. They got it from us. We was bugging out, wilding out, doing stuff we had no business doing. They just want to up the ante. So doing things in front of kids is learned behavior. Oh, that's how we supposed to act when we don't get our way? Oh, all right, cool. Now I know. But I applaud mom for protecting her child. She needed to protect her child because, again, regardless on what that lady said to her, regardless on what that lady said to the Burger King employee, there's no way you should have responded with soda to her kid's face. There's no way you do that. I'm surprised, like, for real, she gave her a good beat down, but I'm surprised she didn't give her like a WWE beat down. Suplex, leg drop, people's elbow, like one of those type of things. A little DDT, you know what I mean? A little diamond cutter, you know what I mean? Cause that's the type of bag I would have been on. Mind you, they in Burger King, so Burger King got them steps, like the counter. I would have been all on the counter with bro, hat, boom, straight Hardy Boy style. That's just me. You feel what I'm saying? You throw soda in my daughter's face, bruh, it's gonna get nasty. So I applaud mom for protecting her kid. But we have to do better on having verbal disagreements with each other around children because it's learned behavior and they only gonna take it to a whole nother level. So shout out to mom for doing that. Do you like, yeah, you're a weirdo. That is super horrible, sad, even trying to harm a child. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. When she got them paws put on her, I was all for it. It was well deserved, and she couldn't do nothing about it. She took that beat down because she knew she was dead wrong. I seen this guy on. Nope. But shout out to you, T. Shout out to you. You didn't see me. Nope. No, sir, pop. Not me. Nope. But hit them likes. Hit them 100s in the chat. Hit them likes, hit them 100s in the chat. Appreciate you lying. Appreciate you. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic, Lackawanna College. Lackawanna College is known as a junior college They're going D2 in sports. So they're going from junior college sports all the way to Division 2 sports, which is very big. Which is very big. That means that somebody wrote that check. They wrote that check. I remember when I was in college, and Lackawanna already had top tier, top tier stadium, the amenities, equipment room, all that stuff was top tier, top tier. My school actually played Lackawanna. I went to Nassau. I played junior college at Nassau, and we played them, and they had top tier amenities. So shout out to Lackawanna from going from JUCO to D2, which made a lot of sense because my school and Lackawanna, we had the most guys go D1, play D1 football after that. Like, if you go to Lackawanna, you go to Nassau, all you're going to see is guys that, went to the NFL from both schools. So shout out to them. Somebody wrote that bag, though, to get them to D2, which I love because the only thing that I hate about college football, and y'all know I love college football, is that there's no D1 college football team in New York City outside of Columbia, but Columbia plays D1 AA. They don't play D1. They will never play the Alabamas, the Michigans. New York City needs a D1A football team. It's the biggest market in the world. It will be so easy to recruit New York City. The fashion, the style, the music, the convenience of everything. It was so easy to recruit in New York. It would be so easy. So easy. So there's no reason why a school like Fordham University can't become D1. Can't become D1 1A. There's no reason why LIU can't become D1 1A. Brooklyn College can't become D1 1. Brooklyn College can be D1 1A. Long Island College can be or Long Island University can be D1 1A. What's another school? St. John's should be another school that should be D1 1A. There's no school in New York City. We used to have Hofstra, but they was D1 AA. They was D1 AA. And Hofstra is solely missed because they shut down the program to Hofstra. So yeah, man. And shout out to Hofstra. Hofstra gave me my first scholarship offer when I was 13. Rest in peace to the legendary coach Joe Gardy, because I used to go to the Joe Gardy football camps when I was younger, and I used to show up and show out, y'all. Like, it was like great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like on Friday Night Lights, kids. Yeah, it was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I got my first scholarship offer around that time. Coach Joe Gardy said, "Yo, when you're ready to come to college, the offer's already on the table, baby." And I got a chance to meet legendary great Wayne Corbett, Harvey Pierre, and I think his name is Karan Brown. He went to Madison from Brooklyn. So, but yeah, anyway, but shout out to Hofstra though. But New York City, the city of New York deserves a D1 1A college football team. So I love that for Lackawanna. Shout out to them to go into D2. I used to use keyboards with 2 fingers. So what? Who cares? E and J. Nobody gives a who you talking about. Them braids. We get some Shout out to Dio in the building. Yo, I love a great joke, but that was trash. But appreciate you though. Hit the 100s, man. Where you from, bro? Shout out to Twisted AMT. I'm from Brooklyn. New York. E&J must have said something reckless. You look like you use a keyboard with 2 fingers. I seen this guy on Grindr. Give it up, move on. Shout out to EJ in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. You should change your name to ENJ, cause you wilding out talking about me. Give it up. Nah, I don't need to give up nothing. I'm successful in life, so I don't know what to tell you. When I get off here, I'm gonna enjoy my life. So you know what I'm saying. But I love doing what I do. So, but you on this platform telling me I should give it up, which is crazy. So that's weird. But hit them likes though. Hit that like. Hit the 100s. Good try though. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you. Stay tuned in. Stay tuned in. But hit them likes. Hit the 100s. Hit them likes. Hit the 100s. Funny guy. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Keep the Lie Alive segment. My Keep the Lie Alive for this episode, I was kind of going back with a few different Keep the Lie Lives because there's a lot going on. I'm going to say this. Fellas, we have to learn how to build within each other. I say that because of this. It's too many times where we see people doing things and it's not enough in a sense where I'm trying to choose my words correctly. It's not enough in a sense where like we're not building enough amongst each other. There's no structure that can help us move things along, whether it's in our personal or professional life. It's too many industries that us as men that we're in, that we find ourselves not really using each other to continue to build each other up, because life is an ongoing process. And there's an old saying that some lambs is made for slaughter, right? But in a lot of ways, we're all lambs because we're constantly learning different things. And we need each other to teach each other, to build within each other, to move things along, because that's where the true power really comes from. And based on that, we have to understand position. Most guys that I know understand position, but they don't want to play the position. And the reason why I say that, because most guys I know play sports. I grew up in sports. I grew up boxing. I grew up playing football. I grew up playing basketball. So because of, outside of boxing, football and basketball, these are team sports. If you don't do your job, we're literally going to get fucked up. If you don't do your job, we're not going to survive, let alone win. So coming from that type of background and understanding, in the real world, it seemed like everybody is against each other. Everybody is like dog eat dog, and it's not benefiting anybody. We're living in a day and age where moving forward, it's about to get even more spookier. So we got to learn how to really build within each other, to build a structure that's beneficial, not just to us as men, but for our family. Because as men, once we build something, we have no problem sharing it with any and everybody. Not anybody, but everybody that's around us, especially our household, our children, our women, our parents, our cousins, anybody that's a part of our family lineage, their energy is together. We have no problem sharing and building within that. But having the structure, we have to learn how to build within each other and move within each other, because without that, we're constantly going to be for self, and we're constantly going to be represented as an individual, which is detrimental. Case in point, P. Diddy. P. Diddy, out of everything that he's done in his career, he's still looked as an individual. He's not looked at as an entity. Jay-Z, no matter how much money he makes, he's still looked at as an individual and not as an entity. When you think of successful people who are really successful, they're think of as the entity first. When you think of, like, most people can't even tell me who's the owner of Netflix or what he even looks like, or any type of major corporation, because it's an entity. And when you talk about the entity, it doesn't lose its prestige. But when you talk about individuals, their prestige get knocked off and their reputation gets shaken. For example, Target. Who owns Target? If Target gains a negative reputation, people say Target, the entity. But that negative view is not going to be viewed for too long. They be like, "Oh, word, that's what Target doing. All right, I'll go there in 2 weeks. I'll go there in 2 months." But as an individual, when you cut that individual off, you cut them off forever. So we have to really learn how to build within each other and to help each other build as an entity and not as individuals. So that's my keep the lie alive. That's my keep the lie alive for this episode, y'all. Let me get at some of this chat. Shout out to Sam in the building. If you say my if my girlfriend says she loves me unconditionally, Texas, and calls me all day, even while driving, Shaw pushes friends aside, reads the Bible, and writes long messages all night. Good. Uh, Stop hating and spitting, and long distance. I don't know what that means, Sam, but appreciate you nonetheless. Shout out to Daddy and the Caddy, Orlando Brown. You done sobered up, my boy. Come on. Come on. Told you I love a good joke, man. But damn, man. Appreciate the dollars, though. Appreciate the love, though. But you know what I'm saying? Gotta do better, man. I want you to win on these jokes, y'all. I want you to win. I want you to win. Uh, from the towns. Twisted. Okay. So I see what you said. Okay. All right, bet. So yeah, that's my keep the lie alive for this episode. We really have to learn into building with each other, and not for us to operate as individuals, because when we really build in with each other, help build entities, we build the type of structure and corporate power that can be just as matched. All these big corporations was once an idea. It was once a dream. And it's never too, your dream or idea is never too big, never too small. So again, operate, do your dream, but also when you see people move in the way that they move and support, operate within the entity and don't be operated as an individual. Again, that's my keep the lie alive for this episode, y'all. I want to thank y'all for tapping in. Y'all been amazing as always. Y'all been amazing as always. Again, hit them likes, y'all. Hit them likes, hit them 100s in the chat. I really appreciate y'all tapping in. Also, last thing I forgot to talk about, fellas. Also, I want to spread this to the fellas as well too. It's an asset to learn how to take. It's an asset to learn how to accept rejection from women. It's an asset. It's not, it has nothing to do with you, bro. If you talk to a woman and she tells you no, it's cool, bro. Because no means no, bro. It means no. And the reason why I say that, there was a basketball player, I believe it is Lynn McLemore. He was a great player at Kansas. And he's been an NBA player for like the last 8 or 9 years. Solid, come off the bench kind of guy, a lot of potential. But he was just convicted of rape. And it's very unfortunate because here's a guy who's in position, who's in the NBA. And why that matters is because when you have that type of prestige, you have that type of access, you have to beat the women off of you. You don't even need to be in the NBA to beat women off you, bro. You don't need to. You just have to be outstanding in your personality or be nice looking or do what you do to get the ladies' attention or whatever the case may be. But the point that I'm making, you have access to a plethora of women. Essay, rape, that's never the answer. Never. So it's an asset for men to learn the art of rejection. Because men, I'm telling you, yo, is nothing but a numbers game. If you go to a club tomorrow for July 4th, I guarantee you this, fellas, if you're clean, you smell good, and your breath is sensational, talk to 20 women. Like, talk to them. Don't be like, yo, talk to them. Hey, how you doing? Yada, yada, yada. Read the situation, right? Different script for different books, right? You get it? You talk to 20 different women. One is going to be down. She's going to say, yes, I will leave with you tonight. I will come with you to your home, and we could do adult things. If you genuinely talk to 20 women, if the first 19 tell you no, the 20th one will say yes. It's a numbers game. Clean fit, smell good, breath spectacular. Even if you stuttering in the conversation, you're going to find and get at least one. So the art of rejection is necessary and needed. I feel bad for the young lady and her family that's going through this. And I feel bad for his family because it gives that notion that or that energy that's the type of man that they raised. So again, fellas, no means no. All right, y'all. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all been absolutely amazing. Hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them 100s, hit them 100s, hit them hearts, hit them hearts, hit them hearts in the chat. I appreciate it, hands down. I want to thank the sponsors of the show: Bravo Section, Button Snaps, OUV Records. I want to thank y'all again. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on my Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Again, but you got to be serious. I don't play no games when it comes to this at all. So if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, hit me up on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Also, I want to thank y'all for I want to thank y'all again. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit that all notification bell. You just never know when I'm going to pop up. I pop up at random times outside of every Thursday and every Sunday at 10:30. So hit that all notification bell. I do pop up at random times. Also, links in the bio. We have memberships. Tap into the memberships. Different memberships get you different access as well. Also have merchandise. Send them the turkey. New T-shirts is also in the chat. And again, if you use the code BrothasPod, you get 10% off on all merchandise. Also, I want to thank y'all for supporting my new EP on all music platforms. Winners Loyalty, 6 songs. If you true hip hop fans, make sure you go and tap into Winners Loyalty again on all music platforms. Type in Ashley Lovechild, and it will just pop up. You know what I'm saying? What else am I forgetting? We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So again, make sure y'all go hit that like, hit them likes, hit them 100s, and again, subscribe and share. We also got over 450 rewatchable videos of this podcast on this channel. So again, go tap in. A great conversational starters, friends, family, and co-workers. So make sure y'all continue to tap in. And again, thank you to the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Again, we're on every Thursday, every Sunday, every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. So again, if this is your first time watching, we'd love to have you back next episode. Again, bring them good jokes. Some of y'all swung and striked out on them jokes. Bring them good jokes. Bring that good energy. And, stay engaged in the chat, man. There's always love. And make sure y'all continue to tap in. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. It's love. And I'm going to see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. We out.